but Black people actually have historical reasons for doing that.
Lovelies, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda Strada. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Don't forget to please subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications so that anytime I upload a video, you will be the first person to be notified. And to my returning subscribers, thank you so much for all the love and support. To those people that share my videos, leave commentaries, you guys are the real MVP. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Alright lovelies, let's get into this video. So lovelies, I came across this video on my For You page on TikTok where this Korean woman was actually complaining of how Black people actually have 25 letter names, guys. I was just so amazed, and I decided to put up some stitches because a lot of people actually stitch her videos trying to give her or scold her to her the reason why we actually have such names, guys. I'm just gonna roll the clip as well as the stitches I was able to put together. Please leave me your thought in the comment section and let's get into it.
Black people are notorious for naming their children 25-letter names that they're never going to get even pronounced right, let alone spelled right. Like, why would you do that?
Do you know why they actually do that? The reason for that is because during slavery, their identities were taken away. So they had to have unique names in order to identify their offspring when they were sold from different plantations. So that came down generationally as generational trauma.
Okay, well, how about now? Isn't that sort of trauma for that poor kid that's never going to have his name spelled right?
Only to your standards. Like, what is...
If I were that child, I wouldn't want my name misspelled all the way through or mispronounced by people.
That's because people can't take the time to pronounce it correctly.
Whatever.
You can say supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, but you can't say Jaquan. Are you kidding me?
Okay, whatever the result is, the poor child does not have his name pronounced correctly or spelled correctly.
Because people do not take the time. You can take the extra 2 seconds to do it, but instead you're sitting here making fun of a whole culture of people for things that they didn't have a choice on.
Do you have a name that gets misspelled a lot?
I sure don't. Well, because my mom whitewashed my name.
That's racist. After the Civil War, many recently freed slaves took a last name like Freedman or Freeman. Others took the last name of their slave masters. Some because they had to swiftly give a name to their newly acquired citizenship. Others with the hopes that they may be reunited with family who have been sold or separated during the institution of slavery. My mother's maiden name is Beatty, spelled B-A-T-T-I-E. Her family is from Mississippi. My grandmother's name is Bessie Beatty. Her mother, my great-grandmother, is named Elizabeth Beatty. In 1850, during the U.S. Census, they do not list a person's property, just the names of slave owners and the count of the slaves. In Mississippi, there was a woman by the name of Elizabeth Beatty, spelled B-E-A-T-Y, who owned over 50 slaves. And I wonder if this is the cotton plantation my family roots grew from. I wonder if this is the name my ancestors placed aside their papers and fled the plantation with. Is there a magnolia tree down in Panola, Mississippi that has all of my family's blood? Williams is the most common last name for Black folks. John Williams of the Louisiana plantation owned over 218 Black people. After Williams, there's Johnson, then Smith, Jones, Brown, Jackson. Racial traumas and triggers are a formal greeting when we call our oppressor's name to introduce ourselves. When our names are a historical leash, every time I meet a Black person with the last name Beatty, I wonder if we are finally attending the family reunion. Every time I meet a white person with the last name Beatty, I wonder if they know what their family has done, what abuse has allotted them their breath. What a privilege to know which end of the whipping whip has your name on it, to know exactly what your name is attached to have a name embroidered on the bedroom door instead of the quarters. What a privilege. On the job application, at the bank, at the airport, in the emergency room. And people wonder about black names, why the names aren't shorter, why the runaway syllables aren't easier to catch, why our names chime like music when they traverse between lobes, about why we name our children after cars, after movement, after freedom, about why black names are always spelled with distinction, while black names always have a flair. It's because countries who declare independence get to name themselves, because niggas will always know reclamation. And when our names do not have your lineage, when our names are not what you expect, then what did you expect? For us to introduce ourselves, still running. For us to shake hands, still dripping the blood you drew.
Musician Frank Zappa had 4 children. His elder daughter was named Moon Unit, as in Moon, middle name Unit, Zappa. His younger daughter was named Diva, and his elder son was named Dweezil. His birth name was Ian Donald Calvin Elucid Zappa, but that's because the nurse at delivery refused to name him Dweezil. His parents called him Dweezil throughout his life. When he realized that Dweezil wasn't his legal name, he changed it to Dweezil. Gwyneth Paltrow has a daughter named Apple. I've met many a Caitlyn spelled like this. Everyone has crazy names. That is not specific to a race, ethnicity, religion, or culture. But black people actually have historical reasons for doing that. Do they?
With Ashawana Buffon, Tangula Buffon, De La Raquandra, Laquisha Benicia, Tisha Buffon, Trella, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Mafry sets her son, Denisha. The fuck?
I was a teacher for like 10 years. And in that time, I worked for an international program that saw many students from all over the world: Jakarta, Egypt, Japan, Florida, just to name a few places. I think that one of the funniest things about this is that it taught me that learning someone's name and pronouncing it is fairly easy. All it takes is asking their name and then pronouncing it back to them after they've said how to pronounce it. Sometimes it might take word association. So they'd be like, oh, it's like pain. And then I'm like, oh, okay. Or sometimes it helps if I learned like the origin of their name. So they'd be like, oh, it means hope. And I'm like, oh, okay. I think that it's one of the most basic, simple things you can do to show that you trust and respect somebody. And I think that it helps other people start to respect you very quickly, especially if their name is something that's not common. The only time that I've ever had any like trouble or encountered people who had trouble with a student was this one student whose name was Rayan, Rayyan. And it was very interesting to me because Rayan is not a very hard name to say. Rayan is not a very common name, at least not over here, but people would pretend that they had a lot of trouble. And I say pretend because I think, again, that it takes only a little bit of effort to say someone's name correctly. Now, what the other teachers would do, the teachers who were teachers, they would call him Ryan. And he gave them the green light, but he told me that he found it very disrespectful because his name is so simple, so easy to say, and that Ryan is not his name. So think about that next time you talk to somebody and you call them the wrong name and you say, oh, can I just call you this? It's easier. Just think about that because it's so easy to be respectful and it's so easy to learn someone else's name.
So the white allies who go on to explain to this woman like why we have the reputation for having really long, unpronounceable names, it was a nice thought. Go check it out, but I don't know if it was necessary because what this woman is saying is just like not true. There's not tons of black people with 25 letter hard to pronounce names. I mean, there's only one woman that I heard that was like this girl that was like on the Oprah show who had like a wicked long name. But like other than that, it's just not true. So it's like there's not even really a like anything to engage with. She just wanted an opportunity to say something bad about black people. That's how I'm taking it. Let me know if I'm wrong. Please let me know what you think. But I just feel like she wanted to say something about black people. And I guess America has evolved from just calling us thugs, welfare queens, and crackheads that this is a new thing to say. Oh, America. And excuse this. This is just stuff to deal with my blemishes. Thank you. Let me know what you think. So the white allies who go on to explain to this woman like why we have the reputation for having really long, unpronounceable names, it was a nice thought. Go check it out, but I don't know if it was necessary because what this woman is saying is just like not true. There's not tons of black people with 25 letter hard to pronounce names. I mean, there's only one woman that I heard that was like this girl that was like on the Oprah show who had like a wicked long name. But like other than that, it's just not true. So it's like there's not even really a like anything to engage with. She just wanted an opportunity to say something bad about black people. That's how I'm taking it. Let me know if I'm wrong. Please let me know what you think. But I just feel like she wanted to say something about black people. And I guess America has evolved from just calling us thugs, welfare queens, and crackheads that this is a new thing to say. Oh, America.
Oh my God. Woo! That was something else, wasn't it, guys? Why would you? Well, I have a difficult pronouncing first name by the way it's spelled. My name is spelled Rodmyr. I almost misspelled my name because I'm still thinking about the. Anywho, it's spelled Rodmyr, and it is said in English Rodmere, and in Creole it is Woodmere. And so every time I went to school or anytime doctor's office, wherever, people constantly mispronounce it. I would get Rudmer. I would get Rodman sometimes. It's like, where is the A-N? But the one that used to always like make me giggle is when they said Rod my R. That used to make me giggle all the time. Like, seriously? But anyway, when I was younger, I didn't like my name because of that situation. Everybody mispronouncing it and shit. And I asked my dad, I was like, Daddy, why did you call me Rodmere? And he was like, your mother wanted to call you Rodmere. I wanted to call you Sophia. But your mother, she really wanted to call you Rodmere. And so that's the name, Rodmere in English or Woodmere in Creole. My mom passed away 19 days after I was born. So I never got to meet her. So it's now a name that I treasure because it's something that I have that I got from her. Other than life. You know, thank you for carrying me, Mom. Pushing me out and shit. But that's like, the name is just super special. And people still mispronounce it and I don't care. But mainly people call me Mia. But that name is always going to be very special to me. Because that is the name that my mother gave me. So, but anyway. That lady, but whole entire foot all the way in her mouth. What was that? And this is my mama on her wedding day. I don't have a lot of pictures of her, but this one's my favorite. She looks happy. My dad's over here in the corner. He don't like his face on TikTok or any social media, so I won't put his face up, but that's my mom. Thank you, Mom, for such a beautiful name.
Hi, seriously, lovelies. I actually want to emphasize on the last lady who I actually stitched her video before this. Or the second to the last lady, I stitched her video. I think I have to agree with her. And the essence where she talked about there is, like, I have never ever come across any 25 letter hard words. You know, I've never seen a black person who actually bears a 24-letter race, like a 24-letter words name. I have never ever come across of such person before. So in that essence, I think that this, Becky, she's just trying to, you know, she's just trying to know what people of color will have to say about this, because she actually know that she's been filmed. So she's just trying to see if she can, spite people of color and try to, know their reaction of what she actually, of her own opinion. So let's get back to business. In terms of, talking about hard names, like hard pronounced names, I like the fact that the woman that was actually trying to defend this her claim, I like the fact, I don't know who this person was, I don't know if she's, someone of color, maybe a club person, but she actually talked about how her mom whitewashed her name. So I believe that she's actually, in this category. So she went ahead to talk about how history had made it so. And she talked about how a lot of people like them don't want to, they don't want to calm down and pronounce this name. They just want to use every opportunity to mispronounce the names, try to pronounce the name as trash, as, oh my goodness, what kind of name is this? These names are something that you could just calm down and pronounce it, but people are actually not having a hard time pronouncing maybe Becky, right? People are not having, hard time pronouncing other names, but once it comes, once it's people of color, that is when a lot of people have problems in pronouncing names. That is when a lot of people, have problems in mispronouncing and misspelling names with apostrophes and all of that. But in times of maybe names, Laura, other kind of names, you do not have a problem pronouncing it, right? So if you must know, these people have had past, they have had generational past. So, and if you must not know, according to the first video I stitched after the previous video, where she talked about how our ancestors actually gave these names in order to, some of them actually gave the names because they felt that they might reconnect with some of their brothers and sisters that were sold in different plantations. Most of why some other people did it in terms of their citizenship, and most other ones also inherited their master's name. Like, do you see the level at which these people have to go through? Like, when you want to mimic or try to spite people, like, oh my god, why is it that your names are like this, your names are 125 letters names, and you are trying to pretend as if you don't know what resulted to them having such names you actually felt that they have. I'm just done with this pretense. A lot of them actually pretend as if they actually don't know what happened. Okay, we were not told this. Like, our ancestors didn't tell us. Like, you should ask a question. Somebody like this, before coming out to ask such questions, you should be able to ask your parents these questions. At least they should know more. They should know better. They should know better instead of coming out like this to, embarrass yourself or disgrace yourself or try to look for who to spite. You should be able to ask your parents, like, oh, dad or mom or grandpa, why is it that people of this, they have their surnames, generational names are somehow like it's so confusing. Then I think they have better opportunity to tell you this, since the histories has been spread out, have been taken away from school. So a lot of people do not know the reason why. And now I am so happy to come across these other stitches of how she actually explained the reasons for such names. The reasons for such names. Some people have to come up with names to identify, their roots, where they come from. The other ones, they also want to move on. They decided to take their master's name. That was when all the slaves were freed. That was when all the slaves were freed, which the other ones, decided to name themselves in order to see if they can actually meet their other relation that was separated, that was taken in other plantations. Like, anytime I come across something like this, and I decided to flash back about stuff that happens in the past, and when I'm talking about this, it actually reflects on me. Like, I have this thing, like, wow, this is actually what happens. Like, history is really meant to be taught. And there's one thing about this, TikTok or whatever we are doing here, it's actually opened my eyes to a lot of things. Like, I want to use this medium to say that I have actually learned a lot. Like, I have actually learned so many things that I was not even taught in school, and it actually baffles me, that something like this is being kept from generations. Something like this that everyone is ought to know. Like, how, like, seriously. And these Karens no stops like this, but just want to pretend that they are ignorant. Oh God, we don't know what is happening, but you guys are the makers of all this. Okay, since you don't know the reason why these people have 25 liter rates, which I have not actually come across any black person that has 25 liter weights. Like, she's just exaggerating this thing, or she's just trying to make up stories or make up, but the one I actually want to emphasize more is the fact that the pronunciations, and she want to use the innocent kid that doesn't have this trauma. Do you want what is she talking about? She don't know the meaning of generation. If your grandfather have such name, your father have such name, what makes you think that you will not have such name? Like, is she expecting people to just not to go back to their root, or like not to answer their surnames, or like, I don't even understand what she meant by it. What about the kids? Are they gonna suffer this generation? Are they suffering this generational trauma, or what have you? Is it that she's trying to let me know that the future does not justify what really happened in the past? Like, seriously? Yes, people will just come up and try to like bring something up to just spite people of color and make us look as if we don't know what we're doing. Like, why are you guys giving your names such names? Or, okay, are they expecting people of color to actually wipe those names and name themselves a new beginning without trying to find their roots and their ancestors and all of that? Like, seriously? When I saw this, I was like, yeah, it's another one has been spotted. Another Becky has been spotted, because she's just acting all, just tell me why is it that it's this way? As if she don't know the reason why it's this way. These people need to keep their memory alive. You want everyone to just forget about what happened in Paris and just pretend as if something like that does not exist. Seriously. Anyways, lovelies, why not just leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video, and do not forget that this channel will not support any form of bullying, harassment, or whatsoever. We're just here for educational purposes, guys, so please why not share this video, subscribe to my channel if you're yet to do that, and I will see you lovelies when I upload my next video. And if you have watched up to this extent, thank you so much for all the love and support. Don't forget to please leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. And do not forget that this channel, we do not support any form of bullying, harassment, or whatsoever. We are just here solely for educational and informative purposes, guys. Alright, please just share this video, leave your thought in the comment section, subscribe to my channel if you are yet to do that, and I will see you lovelies when I upload my next one.